Hi everybody, this is Rhys Barber from Audiology Associates. Welcome to day 7 of the 12 days of Waxmas. So this is where we post 12 videos on 12 consecutive evenings leading up to and including Christmas Day. Now this is a really interesting case. This lovely gent came through. He'd actually been to see another practitioner the day before and had to abandon the suction because he was finding the whole process just very painful. So we're going at this very gently for this patient. You can see we've got lots of dry skin, lots of very dry wax, and this one particular angled dry piece of wax is in here as well. So what I'm doing first is just removing some of the looser debris, some of the looser dry skin from just in front of this main block of wax. That's going to make it a little bit easier to draw that out in a second. You can see we've got the fine end on here. No, sorry, this is the standard size ulnar tube, sorry. And we're just maneuvering this top section of wax here. You can actually see to the right hand side where the dry skin has formed a little barrier around it and sort of encased this piece of wax. So you can see I'm trying to draw this forwards, but the wax naturally wants to return to its position where it's been sitting comfortably for a long time. So I need to try and draw this as far forward as we possibly can, so we can try and get the crocodile forceps on here. Still not as far forward as I'd like. There we are, just kind of wiggling this up and down. What I'm doing by that action is trying to detach it from the canal walls. The dry skin will hold it in there very, very well. So we have to try and kind of detach that first. We've got a good angle piece there, so we're going to use the my goodness me, the crocodile forceps on here. We've got a good grip, slowly drawing this forward. This wax tends to be quite brittle, so as we draw it forward, you can see that front section just detached there, but luckily it did bring everything else forwards with it. Let's get a good grip here, draw all of this out. You can see just how long this piece of wax is. Very hard, very angular pieces, which is quite common when you get these dry skin issues. Very dark as well, so it's been in there a little while. Now, when we take a look behind that, can you see this red circle here on the eardrum? That's actually what we call a blood blister. Now, I don't know what they call it in the US, but if you imagine you pinch your skin in something and you get this kind of raised blister that fills with blood, that's what that is. So this is why the patient was finding it really uncomfortable with the practitioner the day before. I think what had happened is they tried to use suction on it and had been pushing against the outside edge, and that back portion of the wax had rubbed against the eardrum, actually causing this little blistering effect here. Patient was very relieved to get this out. That will resolve itself. It'll just, as it does everywhere else on your body, it will just rectify itself. But you can understand why that patient was having so much difficulty there and why it was so uncomfortable. Now there's a little sneaky piece of wax which is just down over the top of the valley. So we're just using a fine end here, slowly working out, keeping away from it and drawing it up to the suction. There we are. And we'll take another good look at this eardrum now. There we go. You can see that blood blister quite clearly there. You can actually see a little brown fleck just above it. I think that was part of the wax that was attached. You can see it was resting against that, so it would have been really uncomfortable, bless him. So this is the wax we removed. So you've got the wax here, 1.5 centimeters is the wax, and a little bit of dry skin, the first little bit that broke away next door to it. Okay, so this is the second patient in this compilation. Now, when you look in this ear canal, the first thing you notice is the camera just fogs up straight away. Now, we've got a really humid ear canal, all right? Perfect breeding ground for a fungal infection. So that's what's happening in here. This patient's got a fungal infection. As we lift this, you'll see it peeling off the canal wall. Now, you know I love a good peel. So what we've got here is this whole canal is completely encased in this thick, look at it as it comes away, this thick material, quite soft, quite sticky. Oh, I hate food analogies, but you guys, it's the easiest way. If you ever have a custard and you get a skin on the top of the custard, gravy, skin, that kind of thing, that's the sort of consistency you're looking at here. I'm sorry if I've spoiled anyone's Christmas dinner, but you'll see here as we're lifting this from the side of the canal wall, it's all starting to peel away in these long kind of strips. So this is where the fungal infection sits on top of the canal and just kind of kills off the first layer of skin in there, and then it forms this kind of thick gloopy kind of material. Now it's also covered the eardrum. Now we talk about the eardrum being a very, very thin membrane. So the eardrum's only about 3 skin cells thick thereabouts. So if you imagine having this thick layer on top of that, then that's going to really dampen the movement, and that's going to really cause some issues as far as this patient's hearing concerned. So we're lifting now from the base. You can see I'm coming back to the edge of this material, lifting this material up, peeling all the way down the canal. We've got the fine end on here. Always you have to be really, really sensitive to the patient here, because when you're peeling that deep in the canal, it's very easy to touch or press against the canal wall, which can feel like a pinching or scratching sensation this deep. But we're just very gently lifting this off the canal wall here. Peeling now from the left hand side, you can see it's all folding in. Look how it's peeling away. What I'm trying to do is work my way very, very slowly down to the eardrum, because if we want to peel this off the drum, if we have all this material in front, you can see it just start to peel there. If we have all this material in front of it, it's going to hold that material, that sort of dense fungal material in there. You can see now we're getting almost down to the eardrum. So let's lift this last section here. You can see it's starting to peel from the right side there. There we are, it's coming off the canal wall. We've got this other section that's peeled down from the top there as well. Let's see if we can flick this across. So that just tore away. Now that's the one thing you do have to be careful with this particular type of problem, is if you put too much sideways pressure on it, sometimes it'll just tear and you'll take a whole chunk away. But when you're this deep, you really want to get a good peel coming off the eardrum slightly. Because to get a peel on the skin of the drum itself, you'd have to actually put the suction tube on the skin of the drum, and that can be uncomfortable for patients. So you can see here we're just peeling from the left side. Now we've got a lovely little bit to the top left corner. So let's see if we can pull this down now and see what happens. See, it's just, look at that peel, just starting to come away from the canal wall, starting to drop down over the eardrum as well. There we go. The difficulty with this material, it's been sat in that position for a long time and it's formed structurally into that shape. So what you get is every time you pull it away, it always wants to return to where it's been sitting, which is difficult because it's quite sticky underneath. So if you put a bit of olive oil in, which is what we've done here, it does two things. It loosens that material off the drum, but it also forms a barrier underneath. So when it does flip back, it hits the olive oil rather than sticking back to the skin again. So it's much easier to peel away. So we're going to try and do this in one peel if we can. Okay, that's the ideal way to do this. So we're going to get a very gentle grip. Now we're going to bring the fine end from the top left down to the bottom right corner, which is going to cause that peel. There we are. Look how that's coming away there. As it reaches the opposing canal wall though, we run out of room. So what we're going to need to do is reposition this suction tube, and you can see I just try to get away from the edge and get just behind the leading edge I've been working on. There we go. Out of the way, little cilia. So there we are, we've got a good grip there. Look at this peeling away. It's just come off the whole eardrum there. It's peeled all the way down the canal. So the whole section came away in one piece. Patients are always really shocked when you show them this has been actually stuck to their eardrum. There we are. Look at that coming away. Fantastic. Out that comes. Now we can see the eardrum now. You'll just see a little bit sneaking just above the valley there, but watch this piece now. As we get a grip on this, look at this peel here. Look at what was hiding down in that valley. It's very easy to miss, but as we got a grip, the whole thing lifted up. So it's been covering the bottom of the eardrum and that section there just in front. There we are. Out that comes. Perfect. So that's come away really, really nicely there. If we take a look behind, the eardrum understandably looks dull. It's had something stuck to the top of it, which is just really kind of, aggravated the skin there, and the skin doesn't be able to migrate away very well. So this is what we removed. So we've got 1 inch and a quarter's worth of debris there come away. So yeah, quite a bit come out on that ear canal there. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed that video as much as I did. I love a good peel. So as always guys, take care of yourselves and one another. I've totally forgotten what day we're on, 7. So I shall see you tomorrow. But I can't retain this information. I shall see you tomorrow for day 8 of the 12 days of Waxmas. As always guys, take care, look after yourselves, have a good night, and I shall see you tomorrow.